back. WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively in South Baltimore. We're at LP Steamers. We're doing it right down here in Locust Point. It's all brought to you by our friends at Goodwill Industries. I had a great conversation with Lisa Raciniak and John Hoey from The Y earlier this week. Also, our friends at Window Nation, reminding everybody, 866-90-NATION. Big deals, big savings on financing going on right now. Go to windownation.com. And our friends at the Maryland Lottery. We're letting ourselves play. Do I have any more scratch? I got to get a scratch off here. Bud Gardner's our guest. He is the founder and I guess proprietor and visionary for all things LP Steamers. I don't know how long it's been here. I just know that right as we went to air, you had to show me that we're missing the same exact finger. You see this? We're missing the same exact finger. The only other person I knew who was a bar proprietor, and I hope to like you as much as I liked him, was Scunny from Nacho Mama's. Okay. Scunny was missing a finger, and when I would come through the door down in Canton, Scunny would bring his finger. He's like, "Let's touch nubs, man. Let's touch nubs."
So snub nub 48.
So what happened to you?
I worked the waterfront before I opened this place up a long time ago.
Well, no wonder you got the hell out of there, right?
And I cut it off down at Hawkins Point on a copper.
What year?
1965.
This was 1972 for me. All right, so I was 3 years old. The summer of my fourth year, lawnmower. My parents turned their back. Electric lawnmower, but they didn't have the little strap that would turn it off. It was either on or off back in the day, right? Yeah. I was one of the reasons they developed lawnmowers that when you let go, they stop, right? The power mowers. So, but things worked out for me. It looks like you did okay here, right?
Hardest thing is the buttons in the top.
Well, you had a longer life with a finger. Oh,
right? Yeah.
So you were.
I was 25 years old when I cut it off.
Do you have phantom pain? Do you sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes. But I'm at 81 now, too.
You're not 81.
I'm 81.
No way.
I'm 81.
I hope I look good as you 28 years from now, you know? Bud Gardner's here. We're at LP Steamers. We're trying to have some fun. I'm 3/4 of the way through the crab cake. I was going to do the crab cake with you. First off, I know you've already had your crab cake. Yeah. Max came here stomping around all hungry. Pike is down here. He's fat and happy now. He's fed. We got coleslaw, French fries in him, doing all this. Give me the history of this space in this place, because you said you cut your finger off in Hawkins Point 65. Yeah. What was here in 65?
It's probably in 65 it was a restaurant. It was just
what kind of restaurant?
It was just a regular run-of-the-mill restaurant, just regular food here. Before that, it was a candy shop. I was born and raised 2 blocks down the street.
So you are a Locust Point shop.
So I've been here all my life, and I worked right across there where the cruise terminal is now. I run that terminal for the forklifts for 15 years. So I went from there to there, and then I had a video store.
Have you ever gone off Ford Avenue?
Not really. Not really.
Not west of Charles Street, huh?
Not really. I had a video store over in Brooklyn in the 80s for 8 years, and that was a real good deal back then before Blockbusters and all them started doing it. But we wound up losing that, and then I retired off the waterfront. And when I retired off the waterfront, I worked at a place that did the CoverGirl makeup. They did their I set their machinery up because I'm a mechanic by heart. So I used to set their machinery up, and then they went out of business, and I went up to a place that did the little tree you hang from your rear view mirror, the scented trees.
Scented trees.
Yeah, I did a place. I set their machinery up that did all kind of fragrances, and but the video store. All kind
of businesses down here in that era, right?
Yeah, that was over Washington Boulevard. That was
Okay.
But once you're in business for yourself, like the video store, it's hard to work for somebody else because all the effort you put in to your business is yours.
Sure.
When you put that effort into somebody else's business, it's theirs. So that's what got me into starting the restaurant up.
What was the vision here originally? Did you love crabs and love seafood?
Well, I've been around waterfront all my life, and I always had boats, and we crabbed and all. And my father was a crabber before he worked on the waterfront. So we've been around the seafood, all my life. But the funny thing is, when I said I was going to open this, my girlfriend at the time and my sister-in-law both said I'd be out of business in 6 months.
Well, what did you know about you ran a video store?
Yeah, nothing.
What year was this?
1996.
So, it's more recent than I thought. You know what I mean?
96.
Like, I felt like this had been here since the 70s or 80s. I really did.
No, it's a work in progress.
So the Orioles were already downtown when you began, right? Camden Yards was already there.
25
the
years,
Ravens
26 years ago.
Yeah, the Ravens were just getting started in 96, right?
Yeah.
And am I saying this right? And I moved downtown in 03. So I lived at the harbor from 03 until this January. I lived 19 years downtown. Yeah. There are not a lot of places to get crabs in downtown Baltimore. Well, not as many as you would think.
That's why I opened it here, because there was no crab houses around here locally. There wasn't any.
So you just felt like there was a need for it.
Yeah. I figured, and I knew all the people in Locust Point because I was born and raised, and I worked with all the stevedores and all. And I thought they would, give me some business. So. And it looked like the area was going to be getting better.
This is a corner bar, right?
Yeah.
Like literally, when you found it was a corner bar kind of?
Yeah, it was a Fuzzy's Rendezvous, it was called.
Now that sounds like a place that you don't tell your wife about. You know, where were you? I was at Fuzzy's Rendezvous. You know what I mean? How do you explain that when you go home?
But I rented the downstairs here to start with. And me and my grandson, Andy, we pretty much started it off together. My kids helped me do all the remodeling, so it didn't cost a whole lot to get it open.
We'll talk about the newest, incarnation.
Well, it was a work in progress. First off, we only had the downstairs. So after 4 years owning it and doing fairly well, I bought the building.
You were carrying out a lot of crabs, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the neighborhood.
The neighborhood.
You never really needed to be big. You weren't a crab house. You were a place to get crabs, right?
And I had a nephew that was a bartender up at the Hyatt, and he would always send me people from out of town who wanted to get crabs.
Sure.
So that helped. So we wound up getting really, really fairly busy, and all I had was 9 tables down here. So when I bought the building, I put the stairway in, and me and my brother did the second floor so that we had about 10 more tables.
That's a true homage to Baltimore up there.
Yeah.
Baltimore history. You celebrate Baltimore.
Yeah.
You really do.
We try to do anything we can around here for the area. You see where people come from all over the world.
Oh, wow.
I used to put pins in that map. That was a world map. I
want to show this real quick. I'm going to pull the camera up if you're watching. Up on the wall, I guess these are people that have come in here and left behind
money.
When you say we're from Bolivia, you're like, leave me a 20 from Bolivia.
Yeah, there's I don't think there's a country that we missed.
Central Bank of Sudan, Bahrain. I see a euro up there, €5. Bahamas, Mexico. Let's see here. Banco de la República. Mexico.
There's hardly anything we missed.
South African Republic. I'm just reading off all these, man. Bank of Jamaica. I've had some of that money in my day. 1,000 Jamaican dollars. I think we could buy a biscuit with that. Buck Gardner's here. He is LP Steamers and the history. So 26 years.
26
I thought it was longer than that, but congratulations for sure. And
that's long enough.
You've had enough. Let you up.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, growing up in the neighborhood, Fort McHenry, was that a place? I always thought, like, as a kid, we built forts and stuff, and I grew up in Dundalk, right? So I grew up at East Point Mall, and I would think to myself, man, you build a fort at the fort, or could you sneak in, get in? I mean, it's open. You know, as a kid, it's your neighborhood, right?
It closes 6 o'clock.
Sure, dark. Okay.
Yeah. But we used to go down there and fish right off the bulkheads and crab right off the bulkheads when I was young. But they don't allow any of that anymore.
Well, it's a national park now, right?
So, but
got to keep you young troublemakers out of there, right?
None of this was, when I opened this place up, none of this was here. No apartments, no nothing. It was just, that was a parking lot over there for trucks.
Well, Under Armour wasn't here either.
Nothing was here.
Domino's was here, though.
Domino's always been here. I was good friends with the guy that run Domino's for a long while. He took me on a tour where I went through the whole building.
See, I love to hear this because I've always been like a kid like Willy Wonka. I've never seen anybody walk in. I've never seen anybody walk out. You know what I mean? It's like there, the light's always blinking. I've never really driven to the front door. Nobody's ever offered me a tour. You know what I mean? So you've toured it. It's a sugar factory,
he
right?
took us through the whole place.
It must be something.
Everything. It was absolutely amazing. The centrifuges they used to spin the sugar to get all the liquid out of the water out of them and all. It's and there's not but one elevator in the whole place. One in that whole big building. There's one elevator. We had to go up and down the steps almost the whole
sweating the whole way.
And that's like 10 stories high.
So for you with the neighborhood and the vision and what it's become, like the city, I do Baltimore positive, right? Because I want people saying good things. You're vested here. I was vested in living here. Locust Point's a very desirable neighborhood.
It's probably the safest neighborhood in all of Baltimore to live because it's a peninsula. You got water on that side, and water down the end. So, I mean, there's only 2 ways in and out, 3 ways now, but over there by the cruise terminal, and then they put a road all the way going down to Under Armour and then Ford Avenue. So it's pretty much used to be all.
Well, they've taken the
Locust Pointers.
silo and made it beautiful, right?
Yeah,
15 years ago.
Yeah, silo was the grain elevator. That's
all it was.
Yeah, that's all apartment buildings and condos, and then they built all this over here. They even put a Marriott over there just to service the cruise ships.
Has that always been a Little League field?
That's been a Little League field. Actually, when I was a kid, there was 4 houses over there. It wasn't a Little League field then. There was 4 houses right on that corner. And one of them was a barber that used to take a lit candle and go around your hair and burn the ends off.
Get insurance on that now, right?
Yeah.
Try to stay in business doing that.
But they tore them down, and probably that's been there maybe 40 years.
Well, I love your story, man. Bud Gardner telling his story about stevedores down here, and I'm working as a mechanic and coming over here and opening a video store. Did you have one of those special back rooms at the video store? You know the one I'm talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you had to have that. South
Yeah,
Baltimore.
you had to have that.
Make sure they're all 18. And then LP Steamers here, of course, been here 26 years. Come on down, get a crab cake. Listen, don't be offended that I'm not eating the French fries. I'm eating 31 crab cakes in 31 days. I had a crab cake yesterday. I'm having a crab cake tomorrow. I can't eat the French fries. I gained 12 pounds doing this last year, and I had ice cream for breakfast this morning because I got pie up in Pennsylvania. I got this pie. We've been driving these back roads. It's such a beautiful state, right, Maryland?
Yeah.
It's just, and we went into Pennsylvania, and we're on these hilly roads going up to Latrobe. We went to the Steelers practice. We went out to West Virginia, this little arch town. We were at Deep Creek Lake. We're having crab cakes, going to breweries, and just getting out and about and seeing all this stuff. But I passed a pie shop on a country road, and it looked like the best pie shop. I said, we turned around. We went back, and I got pie. They called it a razzleberry pie. I said, what's They said blueberry, raspberry, and blackberry in this pie. And this morning I woke up and I had a little pie, and I have Wise Marcus as my sponsor. I'm going to the ice cream factory next week, and I have some vanilla ice cream. So I had vanilla ice cream and razzleberry pie for breakfast. My wife sees me with the scooper. She's like, "You're not having ice cream for breakfast." I said, 8 a.m., baby. Give me some coffee. Give me some Rofo coffee. So I'm eating bad, but this crab cake, salty. I called it an East Baltimore style. And my mother, we would get, Max had the fried one. I got the broiled, just more fried on the bottom. Tell me about a crab cake and making a good crab cake here, because you took over a crab house here.
Yeah, you to make a good crab cake, you got to have good crab meat. That's the main thing.
Well,
and then you use you got to use
jumbo
very
going
little
on in there. Look at that.
Very little breading.
Yeah, sure.
Very little. The less breading you can use, the more. We use breadcrumbs.
Well, I got it broiled, and this is.
That's the only way really to eat them.
I like it fried. I'm East Baltimore fried.
I like them broiled more now.
I like them crispy. That crispiness that she had on the fry made me the crunch and that, and last night I had a crab cake from the Crab Queen, fantastic. Brought it home, and it was broiled, but much like yours, the bottom, and I showed this earlier, the bottom, because of the way it sits on the pan, takes on the fried part. Yeah. So last night my wife got into half my crab cake, and she kept eating the fried part off the bottom. And she thought she was a broiled person. I'm like, you like that crunch, don't you? That crunchy.
And you also always, to really be a crab cake eater, you should eat it with crackers and mustard.
Well, this is crackers. You have a delicious remoulade here that I've been eating. I'm not a cocktail sauce guy with a crab cake anymore. I was raised with that. I was never raised with tartar. Mustard, I don't like mustard. So like yellow, I don't love it. So I was never a tartar sauce guy. That to me is a fish
that's
stick.
fish.
It's a fish stick.
That's only for fish.
For me, right. Yeah. Remoulade, I have acquired that taste the last year. But in East Baltimore, most places, the crab cake's a star. You don't need to have any sauce on a crab. This crab cake's perfect the way it is.
Yeah.
But I do like the remoulade because of the saltiness.
Yeah.
So I'm going to eat it. Oh, that's really good. That's a really good remoulade. Wow. Okay. Winner. I'll call this. Bud, thank you for coming by and being a great guest. Missing the same finger. There you go. Together in South Baltimore. We're in Locust Point. It's all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. But I got to give him for being our host and our guest, scratch-off ticket to show me $10,000 tickets. Also brought to you by our friends at Goodwill and Window Nation, as well as the Restaurant Association of Maryland. Places like LP Steamers doing specials September 16th to the 25th. Just had a restaurant week in the city. We're doing one all over the state. I'm headed from Oakland to Ocean City, from Cambridge to Cumberland. We're in Locust Point right now, and big appreciation to everybody here, Andy, the family, for putting us up, being kind to us, all of our great guests here, Max Weiss from Baltimore Magazine, Amanda Yeager from Baltimore Business Journal, as well as my dear friend Chris Pica and Vince Sharps from Mind Grub, located right here in Locust Point. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, signing off from LP Steamers in Locust Point. Back for more on BaltimorePositive.com.